How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I've got some fun pentatonic sequence licks for you in the style of Angus Young. So right now Guitar Control is giving away this really awesome daily practice routine to improve your lead guitar chops. This was put together by our very own Silvio Gazquez, a two-time Guitar Idol finalist. This routine covers the four main concepts that are necessary for lead guitar: alternate picking, legato, sweep picking, and tapping. All the tabs and exercises are all included in this free ebook. There's a link in the description where you can get yours. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. All right, so this first one here we're going to look at is just like the beginning part of the solo for Highway to Hell. So it's got this really kind of garden variety, like bluesy rock lick, Chuck Berry kind of a thing, but Angus Young uses this a lot. Especially in the older material, he used it a lot. So it's pretty simple. We're just going to take our first finger, we're going to bar here across the 5th fret of the B and the high E string. And you're going to keep that there, and then you're going to take your third finger, put it on the 7th fret of the G string, and then I use my middle finger on the 6th fret because we're going to bend, so I get a little more leverage. So we're going to bend this up a whole step. So we've got... And then we hit the double stop twice. So that right there, I mean, if you get nothing else out of all of this entire lesson, if you're a beginner, that right there is a really versatile, usable lick. Okay, so after he does that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Then we're gonna do another double stop here. So now I'm just barring the 7th fret on the G and the B string with my third finger. So we got that. We're hitting that on the very last 16th note of 4, and then it's tied to all of beat 1. Plus the downbeat of 2, well, actually all the way through beat 2, but we're going to, on the downbeat of 2, we're going to bend it and then release it to the end of 2. So it's like 1, 2, and then down here to the 5th fret on the B and G strings, and that will be coming in on the downbeat of 3. So. And then on the end of 3, we're going to bar across the 7th fret of the D and the G string this time. So we've got like this. Then the G string, 7th fret again, to the 5th fret. So. Then to the 7th fret of the D string. This is the most awkward part of this here that I seldom play it where I'm satisfied with it. 7, and then down to the 4th fret with a little bit of a bend. Then to the 2nd fret. So you got this. Then we're going to go to the 2nd fret of the A string, pick that and do a pull off. And then finally ending here on the 2nd fret of the G string. So that... So, like I said, that one, and it's not that it's really that tough, but for whatever reason, I just have a really hard time getting that timing at the last part of it. Unless I'm playing like with if I've got something to meter me, I just kind of get out of whack on the timing. All right, so the next we're going to look at is from Hell's Bells, and this is like the little, before it goes into the solo, it has this kind of little breakdown part. So it's just coming in off of there's just like an A, and then comes into this part. So this is like made up of a lot of double stops, primarily of double stops. So we got the first one, we're playing on the G and the B string. So I'm on the 7th fret of the G, but the 8th fret of the B. And we're going to hit that. and then we're going to go to the 7th fret on the B. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You could, because you do that bend, and then you're going to follow that with the 5th fret of the B string. All right, so probably the easiest way for me to do this, but I'm not really consistent about it, is to use my 3rd and 4th finger and then just bar that one. So we're going to, and then we're going to follow that with the 7th fret on the G string to the 5th fret with a little bend, and then that resolves to the 7th fret on the D string. Then we're going to do a slide from nowhere, you know, at the 5th fret, one of these little slurred slides. Or you could do a pull off and a hammer. He does it a slide on the recording, but I don't consistently do it the same way. So that being said, all of these things, the big thing from this is you want to take is just the ideas to try to implement it into your own playing, whether it be the technique or the note choices, the phrasing, anything like that. Just, you know, use it and experiment with it. Try playing it over different backing tracks in different keys and just making it, you know, tailoring it to fit what you're playing over. Okay, so after we do we're letting that 7 ring there, some vibrato on it, 7th fret of the D string. Then we're going to go back up and we're going to bar the 5th fret of the B and the high E string, and then the 7th fret of the G and B string. So this, then we're going to come here, we're going to do a quick bend, and then hit it again, and then that's on the and of 4, and then it's tied to the first 2 beats of the first 1.5 beats, and then on the we're gonna, while it's ringing, we're just gonna pull it up there, starting on the and of 2. Alright, so the next one here is from the solo for You Shook Me All Night Long. So this isn't starting at the beginning, I just really like this particular phrase. So we're going to start off, we're going to do a slide from nowhere to the 7th fret of the G string. I'm going to use my middle finger, because we're going to follow that with the 6th fret on the B string. So we got, then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to slide to 9 and then 8. So we got, and when we do the slide to 9, we can just start there at 7, but we still want to treat it like a slide from nowhere. So we got, then we're going to go back to the 9th fret of the G string again, to the 8th fret of the B, and then to the 10th. So I'm going to keep my first finger there and then drop my 2nd and 3rd finger, because we're going to bend. So we've got, now this is one of the parts I really like. I really like this style of bending. So we're going to do this bend, and while we're holding it, I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to pick up the 10th fret of the high E string. I'm going to hit that and then pick the B string again and release, since you want that to ring out over each other. And then resolve here on the 8th fret. So you got, then the very last part here, and I think this is like one of the really neatest things about this, is it's got this little melody. Let's see. Yeah. But he doesn't play it like that, he does it with these bends. So you got, we're going to come to the 11th fret. We're going to bend that up a whole step, then to the 10th fret, and do the same thing. So bend, bend, release to 10, and then to 8, and then 9 on the G string, and then back to 8 here again to resolve. Okay, and the next one to look at is the little lick from Back in Black. So this is the... So we're just going to be looking at that. So this particular thing is, it's using these open strings, so we're kind of tied into being, you know, into that key. But I'm going to show you how you can use it. It's just the Vox pattern number 1. So we've got 3 to the open string, so this is in the high E. Then we're going to do the same thing on the B string. And then we're going to go to the 2nd fret on the G string, and we're going to do a full step bend and release and pull to the open string. So that's it. Okay, now if you wanted to do it, you know, say in A minor, so we're going to do it here. So we're going to be 5th fret and the 8th fret on the B, on the high E. Then the same thing on the B string. And then when we go to the G string, it's going to be 7, bend, release to 7 to 5. So it's the same. So you can see right there, that's a very, you know, useful, cool sounding little lick. All right, and then the very last one, this is like one of my favorites. I've referenced this before in other lessons, but it's a portion of the little intro melody, kind of main melody line to Have a Drink on Me. So we're going to start off, I'm going to do a slide from nowhere to the 9th fret on the G string. I'm going to use my 3rd finger, and then I'm going to, when I slide up to that, I'm going to take my 2nd finger and put it on the 8th fret of the B string and let them ring out over each other with some vibrato. So, then we're going to do that slide to 9, 8 thing again. Then we're going to go back to the G string and we're going to pick that and slide to 7. Now, the tricky part here is that when you slide down, you want to drop your 1st finger onto the 5th fret at the same time, because then you're going to pull off to that, and that's a tuplet. So So after we do that pull off, then we're going to go to the 7th fret of the D string. Then we're going to do that Angus Young thing that's really, really common that we've talked about lots of times, is the rolling 4s thing here. So he ends up here on the 7th fret of the D string, and then it's going to go to the 7th fret of the G string. So instead of moving his finger, you just roll it up. So here I'm like fretting it on the tip of my finger like how you typically would. And then here I'm rolling it up. So I'm actually kind of playing it more with the pad part of my finger. And then to the 5th fret, the G string with your 1st finger, 7th fret of the D string with your 3rd finger, and then the open A string. So to get that, you might want to practice that separately. Alright, so there you have it. Some fun, not too terribly difficult pentatonic sequence licks in the style of Angus Young. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.